As we anxiously wait for the second season of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender to begin its production, we are left wondering how events will turn out in this adaptation. We know that so far the series has tried to stay faithful to the original series while undergoing some changes, either because it was needed due to the series format or to appeal to a more modern audience. There are some things that we are curious on how they will present it, like the introduction of Toph Beifong, and there are things that we're looking forward to seeing and hoping that they do an amazing job with due to its importance, like what's going to happen with Katara at the Season 2 finale. What exactly is going to happen with Katara in the second season? Is she of major importance in multiple aspects in this series? All of these questions will be answered by the end of this video, as we will be discussing Katara's importance in the second season of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Keep in mind that this video will contain spoilers for Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender and possibly its source material, so take this as your spoiler warning. But before we begin, if you enjoy everything related to Avatar: The Last Airbender and want to see more content like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel, since we will be discussing everything related to this series. Welcome to the Avatar State. Let's take a look at what happened with Katara during the first season of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender to refresh our memory before digging into Katara's importance in this second season. We first see Katara under the Fire Nation ship that the previous waterbenders froze when they first attacked the Southern Water Tribe, and we see that she is trying to waterbend. Sadly, she isn't successful with it. She then heads back to Wolf Cove, where she joins her brother Sokka. From here, they go to hunt some fish, since the fishing boats came back empty. However, fate had different plans for them, since they encounter a strong current that makes them crash and find a giant iceberg. This is when Aang emerges from it, shooting a beam of light to the sky, coming out of the Avatar state and stopping his 100-year slumber. As her brother wanted to leave Aang behind, Katara convinces him to take the young air nomad back to Wolf Cove. When they get back, they find out that he is the last airbender, and eventually they find out he is the Avatar as well. The shocking news causes Aang to flee, and Katara goes after him. Here, Katara explains to Aang that she knows how he feels and explains how everything has been for them since they were little. How the Fire Nation attacked Wolf Cove, and her father and the other warriors left to hunt them down, and leaving Sokka in charge at the age of 13, and all of them had to grow up fast. Katara then takes Aang to where we first saw her as she tries to water bend once again, but again, she fails. She proceeds to explain that Sokka doesn't like it when she practices, because he is worried that the Fire Nation will find out and she will encounter a terrible fate just like the other waterbenders. Aang explains that the monks used to tell him that bending is all about energy and balance, that by feeling the energy around you, you can find balance, and by finding balance, you can feel the energy. Katara uses what Aang tells her to waterbend successfully for the first time, but their celebration doesn't last long, since the beam of light Aang let out, once he emerged from the iceberg, caught the attention of a Fire Nation ship that was nearby. Not any Fire Nation ship, Prince Zuko's Fire Nation ship. Back at Wolf Cove, Sokka was willing to give Aang up, but he is convinced by Katara not to. It gets to the point where Sokka challenges and fights Zuko, a fight that wasn't to his favor. Aang eventually stops the fight and lets Zuko take him. Unfortunately for Zuko, this didn't last long, since Aang managed to escape and even is rescued by Sokka, Katara, and Appa. From here, they go to the Southern Air Temple, where Katara convinces Sokka once again to help Aang in his journey, and she discovers a waterbending scroll that her grandmother put in her belongings. A scroll that has been in their families for generations and will help Katara master waterbending. They arrive at Kyoshi Island, so Aang can get answers on how to do his job as the Avatar. At Kyoshi Island, they get captured by the Kyoshi warriors because they were trespassing. They get released and get to an agreement with the mayor. We then see Katara practicing her bending discipline while using the scroll. Aang praises her for learning quickly. Katara tells him that it's just the basics and that he should be practicing too, since he still needed to master all 4 elements. After Aang discusses his concerns with her, she lets the young Avatar know that they will do it together, and that she's not going anywhere. After they play near the river for a while, Katara helps Aang to search for answers at Kyoshi's shrine. Aang being frustrated because he doesn't find anything that helps him with his issue, Katara keeps on reading and finds something that eventually does help Aang. She follows by saying that according to what she was reading, all the previous avatars are incarnations of his past lives, so he is literally not alone, and that all the other avatars are inside of him. And if he wants someone to teach him, all he needs to do is figure out how to connect to them. She ends by saying that the answers weren't inside the shrine, the answers are inside of him. This leads to Aang meditate and contact Avatar Kyoshi, while Katara patiently waits for him. In the process of this, Katara sees that the Fire Nation arrived at Kyoshi Island, and she desperately tries to make him come out of the Avatar state so they can deal with this issue, but she is unsuccessful with this. As Zuko approaches Aang's location, Katara confronts Zuko, so he doesn't capture Aang once again. Eventually, Avatar Kyoshi takes over Aang's body and helps Katara by knocking out Zuko. Their journey brings them to Omashu, where they meet the Mechanist and Jet. While training, Katara discovers that the Mechanist is working with the Fire Nation. Shortly after, Jet joins her and informs what the Mechanist has been doing so far. Katara follows Jet, and they hunt down the Fire Nation spy. To their surprise, he wasn't alone, so they have an all-out battle. In a time of need, Jet's crew, the Freedom Fighters, join them, and they defeat them without breaking a sweat. As Katara finds out that Jet is willing to sacrifice innocent people in order to achieve his goal, Katara informs Sokka of what's about to happen, and with her amazing water-bending abilities, manages to stop a flaming arrow that was about to impact a briefcase with blasting jelly and saved lots of innocent lives. When Aang gets captured, the Mechanist shows Sokka and Katara a secret tunnel where the siblings needed to set their differences aside and arrive just in time at King Bumi's palace to help the young Avatar. Throughout their journey, Team Avatar stumbles upon a burnt forest where they travel to the spirit world. At the spirit world, they get separated by Hei Bai, the protector of this forest. After this, Ko the Face Stealer makes Katara relive her most traumatizing event, which is when she saw a Fire Nation soldier end her mom's life, whilst her mom was protecting her. Aang then rescues them from Ko the Face Stealer, and they embark their journey to the Northern Water Tribe. When they finally arrive, Katara is excited to start her water-bending training with Yagoda. To her surprise, it wasn't what she expected at all. This is because the women from the Northern Water Tribe mainly focused on their healing abilities. Katara, being an absolute beast, picks this up quickly, and when she asks about combat water-bending training, she is told that due to tradition, women only focused on healing. This angered Katara and made her confront Master Pakku. This didn't get her anywhere, and she even tried to talk with Aang regarding this issue. But Aang, being scared to lose his friends, agrees with the tradition. A now disappointed Katara explains to her brother what happened, and he encourages her to fight Master Pakku to prove that women can also fight and not just focus on their healing abilities. After proving herself against Master Pakku, Katara and the other female waterbenders convince him to let them help against the Fire Nation. With Katara leading, the waterbenders are in charge of reinforcing the western side of the wall. Eventually, Katara searches for Aang, and they encounter Zuko. Zuko and Katara start to battle, one that will be favored towards Katara. She then sees Aang inside Koizilla. She shouts, so Aang can snap out of it and rejoin them. It isn't until Yue sacrifices herself that Aang returns fully as he smiles at Katara. Master Pakku gives Katara a vial of water from the spirit oasis in the northern city. We then see how she assures Aang that the destruction caused to the Northern Water Tribe wasn't his doing, but the Fire Nation's, and afterwards we see Team Avatar planning on what their journey awaits them. Now, what's going to happen with Katara in this second season, and how important will she be in it? For starters, she will be Aang's waterbending teacher, as the Avatar needs to master all four elements. Once Aang finds his earthbending teacher, Katara will also be the one to suggest a certain method for training, since that's what gave the best results while she was training him. Also, once the season finale for this second season comes, something tragic will happen to Aang, and Katara will be the one to rescue him. That is, if everything goes according to the original series. Tell us, what's your opinion on this? Did we miss anything? Thanks for watching the video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.